A truth that changes everything. Remy's shocking confession upends the Spencer family. When Remy Price first discovered that Luna Nozawa was pregnant, he felt a complicated storm of emotions brewing inside him. The news hit him like a wave, and for weeks, he carried the weight of a truth he couldn't bring himself to speak. Every time he thought about it, the words stuck in his throat. Every conversation with Dick felt laden with an unspoken secret, but secrets, no matter how carefully guarded, have a way of demanding to be released, and Remy was about to learn that lesson in the most consequential way possible, the secret that couldn't stay hidden. Remy had been wrestling with his knowledge for some time now. He knew something that nobody else in the Spencer family seemed to understand. Luna had claimed that Will Spencer was the father of her baby, and everyone had accepted it as truth. The Spencers had conducted their tests, discussed their options and planned their next moves based on that assumption. But Remy knew better. He knew the real story, a story that only he could tell. The secret gnawed at him every day. He watched as the drama unfolded around the Spencer household, with Bill and Katie desperately trying to figure out how to handle Luna and her pregnancy. Remy saw the strain on Will's face, the burden placed on his shoulders by a child that wasn't even born yet. He witnessed Electra's heartbreak as her relationship with Will hung in the balance, threatened by Luna's manipulation and lies. And through all of this, Remy remained silent, locked inside his own private conflict. Dick had noticed his boyfriend's distraction. "You've got something on your mind, babe," Dick had said more than once, but Remy couldn't bring himself to share the burden. How could he explain what he knew without unraveling everything? How could he look his boyfriend in the eye and tell him that he was connected to this messy, complicated situation in a way that would make everything worse before it got better? The weight becomes unbearable. As weeks passed, Remy found himself in an impossible position. He would catch himself staring into space, his mind drifting to Luna, to the baby, to Will, to Bill, and to all the ripple effects of a lie that had grown too large to contain. He knew that Luna was deceiving everyone, that she had made a calculated choice that would affect so many lives, but the worst part, he knew the truth that would shatter her deception and change everything for the Spencer family. Remy spent countless nights lying awake next to Dick, wrestling with his conscience. The right thing to do was clear, even if the consequences terrified him. He wasn't proud of his connection to Luna's baby, and he certainly wasn't proud of having stayed silent about it, but telling the truth meant opening Pandora's box, and he wasn't sure if he had the courage to face what would come out. Then one morning something shifted inside him as he sat in the apartment staring at his phone and thinking about Will, a good man burdened by a lie. Remy made a decision. He couldn't live with the silence anymore. He couldn't watch the Spencers make decisions based on false information, and he couldn't pretend that this secret didn't belong to him, that he wasn't implicated in the deception, whether intentionally or not. A man's confession. Remy didn't send a text or make a phone call. This conversation required his presence, his voice, his face. He needed Bill Spencer to hear the truth from him directly. And so on an otherwise ordinary afternoon, Remy found himself standing outside the Spencer mansion, his heart pounding in his chest, preparing to say words that would change everything. When Bill answered the door, there was a flicker of surprise in his expression. "Remy, what brings you here?" "I need to talk to you," Remy said, his voice steady despite the nervousness churning inside him. "It's about Luna. It's about her baby. There are things you need to know." Bill's expression shifted immediately. He stepped aside and Remy entered the mansion, acutely aware of the gravity of what was about to transpire. They moved into the study and Bill closed the door behind them, the action feeling almost ceremonial, as if they were entering a sacred space where truths would be unveiled. "I've been thinking about this for a long time." Remy began, his words carefully measured. "And I can't stay silent anymore. When Luna found out she was pregnant, she came to see me, and in that moment I realized something that Luna has kept from everyone, from you, from Will, from all of you." Bill's eyes narrowed. "What are you saying, Remy?" "I'm saying," Remy took a deep breath, "that Will is not the father of Luna's baby. I am." The room seemed to freeze in that moment. Bill's face went pale, then flushed with a complex mix of shock, anger, and betrayal. For several seconds he said nothing, simply staring at Remy, as if trying to process what he was hearing. "The truth emerges. Luna lied to all of you," Remy continued, filling the heavy silence. "She told you that Will was the father, that she had gotten pregnant after being with him at Il Giardino, But that wasn't the truth. The truth is more complicated and it involves me. When I found out I didn't know what to do, I was scared, confused, and honestly I was ashamed, but I can't keep lying by staying silent. Bill finally spoke, his voice low and controlled, though clearly strained. How is this possible? Luna has been in hiding under surveillance. When would she have? There are gaps in the timeline. Remy explained times when she was out of sight. I'm not proud of it, Bill. I'm not proud of any part of this. But the baby is mine, and you deserve to know the truth. Your family deserves to know. Will deserves to know. Bill sank into a chair, the weight of this revelation pressing down on him. So Luna manipulated all of us. She made us all believe a lie. She tricked Will into believing he was going to be a father to a child that isn't his. She played us all. Yes, Remy said quietly, she did. And I'm sorry, I should have come forward sooner. I should have told you the moment I found out. For a long moment, Bill simply sat there, his hands clasped together, his mind clearly racing through the implications of what he had just learned. When he finally looked up at Remy, his expression was difficult to read. A mix of anger, gratitude, and resignation all at once. I appreciate you coming here. Bill said finally, I appreciate you telling me the truth. That took courage, and God knows, the Spencers need honesty right now more than we've ever needed anything else. Luna has caused enough damage with her lies. Thank you for breaking the cycle. A family in chaos. As Remy left the Spencer mansion that afternoon, he felt a strange combination of relief and dread. The truth was out. Now there would be consequences for him, for Luna, for everyone involved. Bill would need to tell Will, Katie, and everyone else in the family what he had just learned. The revelation would shake the foundations of what they thought they knew about Luna's pregnancy and her motivations. The baby was real, but its parentage was different from what had been assumed. Will would be freed from a burden he never should have to come to terms with the knowledge that Luna had deliberately deceived him in the most intimate way possible. Electra's relationship with Will might have a chance to survive now, untethered from the complications of a child Luna had manipulated him into believing was his. As for Luna herself, her carefully constructed plan had been exposed. The deception that she believed would tie her to the Spencer fortune and secure her freedom had collapsed. She was still pregnant, still facing the consequences of her actions, but now she was also facing the additional weight of being exposed as someone so willing to lie, to manipulate, to deceive the very people she claimed to care about. And Remy, he was left to navigate the aftermath of his confession, knowing that he had done the right thing, even though it cost him his relationship with Dick. Would have to weather this storm of revelation. His own conscience would have to find peace with the complicated circumstances that had led him to this moment. The truth had finally emerged from the shadows where it had been hiding, and like all truths in the world of the bold and the beautiful, it would set off a chain reaction of consequences that would reverberate through the lives of everyone involved, a testament to the fact that in this world of high fashion, luxury, and family drama, honesty, no matter how delayed, always has the power to change everything. Next, we will learn about the explosive situation brewing between Sheila Sharp, Taylor, Hayes, and Deacon Sharp that threatens to destroy Taylor's prestigious career and everything she has worked so hard to build over the years. Sheila's growing suspicions, the tranquility that Sheila Sharp currently enjoys in her marriage to Deacon, may be nothing more than the calm before the storm, and recent developments suggest that this piece is built on an increasingly unstable foundation. While Sheila has been publicly crediting Taylor Hayes with helping to salvage her relationship with Deacon through therapy sessions, the reality of the situation is far more complicated and potentially devastating than anyone could have anticipated. The irony isn't lost on viewers who remember Sheila's violent past. Here she is trusting the very woman who might be developing romantic feelings for her husband, and the betrayal could be happening right under her nose during what are supposed to be professional therapeutic encounters. Deacon's dangerous obsession. What started as innocent therapy sessions has evolved into something much darker and more complicated for Deacon Sharp, who finds himself unable to shake thoughts of the beautiful and intelligent Dr. Taylor Hayes from his mind. Every conversation they share seems to linger in his thoughts long after their sessions end, and the connection between them has grown beyond what anyone would consider appropriate for a doctor-patient relationship. Deacon's fascination with Taylor isn't one-sided either. The renowned psychiatrist has been displaying all the warning signs of someone who is crossing professional boundaries, fixating on her patient in ways that could destroy her career and reputation. The chemistry between them is palpable, and it's only a matter of time before someone notices the way they look at each other, the way their sessions seem to run longer than scheduled, and the way both of them appear distracted and preoccupied when they're apart. Taylor's compromised professional ethics. Taylor Hayes has built her entire career on being a world-renowned psychiatrist with impeccable credentials and an unblemished reputation in the mental health community. Her expertise has been sought after by countless patients over the years, and she has always prided herself on maintaining the highest ethical standards in her practice. However, something about Deacon Sharp has caused those carefully constructed boundaries to begin crumbling, and Taylor finds herself in territory she never imagined she would enter. The doctor-patient boundaries that are supposed to be sacrosanct in the psychiatric profession are becoming increasingly blurred with each passing session, and Taylor seems either unwilling or unable to recognize the dangerous path she's walking. Her colleagues would be shocked to learn that the same woman who has lectured others about professional ethics is now guilty of the very violations she has always condemned. Sheila's deadly threats. In a chilling conversation with Lee Finnegan, Sheila revealed the violent impulses that still lurk beneath her supposedly reformed exterior when she declared that if anything inappropriate happened between Deacon and Taylor, she would kill the good doctor. The words hung in the air with terrifying weight before Sheila attempted to backtrack, dismissing her threat as merely a figure of speech and nothing more than dramatic exaggeration. She assuredly that she has changed, that she is no longer the dangerous woman who committed so many horrific acts in the past, and that viewers should believe in her transformation and redemption. But anyone who has followed Sheila's history knows that her promises of change have been made before, and they have rarely held up under pressure when she feels betrayed or threatened. The question isn't whether Sheila is capable of violence. Her track record speaks for itself, but rather whether she has truly evolved enough to choose a different path when faced with the ultimate betrayal, a calculated revenge strategy. If Sheila has genuinely changed and managed to suppress her most violent instincts, that doesn't mean Taylor will escape consequences for her inappropriate behavior. In fact, a reformed Sheila might prove even more dangerous. Revenge through legal and professional channels that would be far more devastating than any physical attack. Taylor's vulnerability lies in her medical license and the reputation she has spent decades building in the psychiatric community. One well-documented complaint about ethical violations, inappropriate relationships with patients and boundary crossings could trigger an investigation that would expose everything Taylor has been trying to hide. Sheila could file formal complaints with the medical board, gather evidence of the inappropriate sessions and systematically dismantle Taylor's career piece by piece without ever laying a hand on her. This approach would not only destroy Taylor professionally, but would also allow Sheila to maintain her image as a reformed woman who simply sought justice through proper legal channels. Taylor's emotional vulnerability. The timing couldn't be worse for Taylor to be making such catastrophic professional mistakes, as she's still reeling from her painful breakup with Ridge Forrester. The end of her relationship with Ridge left Taylor searching for meaning and stability in her life, and she has been struggling to find her footing in the aftermath of that devastating loss. Her work as a psychiatrist has always been her refuge, the place where she feels most competent and fulfilled, and helping patients overcome their challenges has given her a sense of purpose when her personal life feels empty. That's what makes her fixation on Deacon so dangerous. She's vulnerable, emotionally raw and possibly looking for connection in all the wrong places. Taylor may be unconsciously seeking to fill the void left by Ridge, and Deacon represents an escape from her pain and loneliness, even though pursuing anything with him would be professional suicide. Her colleagues and friends would likely attribute her poor judgment to the emotional trauma of the breakup, but that explanation won't satisfy the medical board if they investigate her conduct. The inevitable discovery. It's only a matter of time before Sheila discovers the true nature of what's happening between her husband and his therapist, and when that moment comes, all hell will break loose in ways that could affect multiple lives. The signs are already there for anyone paying attention. Deacon's distracted behavior, the lingering glances, the way he talks about Taylor with a little too much enthusiasm and admiration. Sheila may currently be in denial about what's happening, choosing to believe that the therapy is helping her marriage, but her instincts are sharp, and she won't remain oblivious forever when the truth finally emerges. Whether through a confrontation, observed interaction or confession, Sheila will have to decide what kind of woman she truly is now. Will she revert to her violent past and make good on her threat to Lee? Or will she channel her rage into destroying Taylor's career through more calculated means? Either way, Taylor faces terrible consequences for her ethical violations and emotional recklessness, the price of forbidden connection. Deacon could indeed represent a new path forward for Taylor Hayes. A chance at unexpected happiness and connection with someone who understands struggle and redemption. However, pursuing that path could cost Taylor everything she has worked for throughout her distinguished career in psychiatry. The medical establishment doesn't look kindly on therapists who develop romantic entanglements with their patients, and the consequences could include loss of license, professional disgrace, and the destruction of her reputation in the mental health community. Taylor would go from being a respected, world-renowned psychiatrist to a cautionary tale about the importance of maintaining boundaries. Her name forever associated with ethical violations. Friends and colleagues who once sought her counsel would distance themselves. Former patients might question the care they received, and her entire legacy could be tarnished beyond repair. Is a potential relationship with Deacon worth that price? Especially when it means giving Sheila the ammunition she needs to destroy her. Sheila's strategic patience. What makes this situation particularly interesting is the possibility that Sheila might choose to play a longer game, this time demonstrating genuine growth and strategic thinking. Instead of immediately lashing out when she discovers the inappropriate connection between Deacon and Taylor, Sheila could bide her time and gather irrefutable evidence. She might document inappropriate interactions, collect witness statements, record suspicious behavior, and build an airtight case that would withstand scrutiny from medical licensing boards. This patient approach would serve multiple purposes. It would prove that Sheila has genuinely changed from her impulsive, violent past. It would make her revenge more devastating and permanent, and it would shield her from legal consequences by pursuing professional complaints rather than personal violence. Sheila could destroy Taylor's career while maintaining her own freedom and reformed image. It's a smart play that would show character development for Sheila, while still allowing her to exact revenge on the woman who betrayed her trust. The bold and the beautiful. Spoilers make it clear that this explosive situation is heading toward a dramatic confrontation that will have lasting consequences for everyone involved. Sheila will inevitably target Taylor, whether through violence or career destruction, and the renowned psychiatrist will receive terrible news about her future. The only question is whether Taylor will recognize the danger she's in before it's too late, or whether her fixation on Deacon will blind her to the storm gathering on the horizon. Either way, viewers can expect fireworks when this storyline reaches its inevitable and devastating conclusion.